Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The time is 5:31. I would like to call to order the Wednesday, February 28th meeting of the Commission on Inclusion and Innovation. We'll start off with a roll call. To my left,
Megan O'Brien McNamara.
Evan Tuttle.
Tom Kosker.
And William Kittle.
Thank you very much. Next up is appointments and resignations, of which we have none today. We do have a couple commissioners missing today, but we do have a full slate of commissioners right now, so no appointments or resignations. Approval of minutes. You should have all received the minutes from our last meeting, January 24th, 2024. Hopefully you've had a chance to review those, and if you have any questions, comments, edits, otherwise I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Tuttle and second by William, and like I blanked on your last name for a second. Oh my gosh. Kittle, Mr. Kittle. Any questions, comments, discussion, edits?
No.
All good? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Abstentions? I think we were all here last meeting, so there we go. Motion passes 5-0. Oh, I forgot to gavel in, man. I forgot to gavel in. I got this gavel that she got me, and I forgot to gavel in. Now it's official.
You need to practice.
All right. Next up on the agenda, we have report from the commission chair. So I don't have too much to share because more will come in the subcommittee reports today. But I will say I'm very excited about the work that's been happening. With our new commissioners on board, so happy. One couldn't make it tonight, Prem, but to all four of you and to our current commissioners, I think we have some new energy and new excitement and some new direction. Actually, not even new direction. I just think continued focus on the direction that we've pointed ourselves in. But I'm excited about the work to come this year. So thank you all for what you've already brought to us and what I know is going to continue. So again, to the public, or the two people listening, we're gonna hopefully get some good stuff done this year. Another quick comment, kind of housekeeping thing, and I know as we're all many of us are new to the commission, we have our commission emails that we are using. We just need to get in the habit of checking those fairly regularly. I'm going to say once a week, maybe twice, not every day. You don't have to get, too much about it, but, and just make sure we're replying to the requests, whether it's attendance at a meeting, whether it's, in the case of tonight, dietary restrictions, trainings, because those are important for us to make sure that we're all on the board and everyone's hearing. So just a quick reply all to those to say, yay, nay, I'll be at the meeting or I won't is important. So I just wanted to mention that. A couple other things I just wanted to mention that are in the works, sort of. We've been sort of discussing a little bit in the background. I think I wanted to just bring it up here, and I don't know if I brought it up in the past. One is the idea of we spoke with Dana and I spoke with a muralist who is interested in connecting possibly with the town of Rocky Hill and reached out to us as a Commission on Inclusion on doing something. This is in the very, very early infant stages of literally a conversation, and a couple emails exchanged. So that's something that we're going to be looking into and looking at. Don't know where it'll go. It may go nowhere, but just wanted to make you all aware of that conversation kind of happening in the background a little bit. And incidentally, she had a piece in the paper the other day. I saw her in the Hartford Courant because she has done a number of murals in the area. So I was like, holy smokes, it made me think of her again. I haven't talked to her since before the holidays, so we'll reach out and kind of reconnect on that. I think that's all. Again, we have some training following tonight's meeting for our new commissioners that we'll be at. I'm excited for that to kind of get us all on the same page as far as the operations of the commission and stuff. So I'm excited for that. And that's about all I have. Any questions for the chair?
No questions.
All right.
Nope.
All right. Up next, we have subcommittee reports. So we have 3 subcommittees: community conversations, and I believe Mr. Kittle has offered to give us a summary of our last meeting. Mr. Kittle.
Yes, sir. So yes, we did have opportunity to have separate meetings with our subcommittees. The subcommittee that I was tasked with, along with two other members of the commission, and a fourth, Megan O'Brien McNamara, joined us for this particular subgroup, Community Conversations. So the discussion items on our agenda were equity statement, walk a mile event, spring summer outreach, and any suggestions or proposals one might have. I think we had lengthy conversations on the first topic, equity statement. To get it going, we discussed the need to start reviewing some of the samples that are out in other communities. We committed to doing that, understanding there's a lengthy process in getting the final draft and sending it to the board for final approval. So we wanted to get that going, so that's where we left off there. The Walk a Mile event was discussed. We had a big discussion on finalizing a date. So right now, we tentatively have September 7th. September 7th. We figured if we established a date, we'd have it locked in, and we would need to work feverishly to meet the deadlines, the logistics needed to support that date. We spoke of the spring and summer outreach, which is encompassing of all of our subcommittees. So some of that bled over into a committee that I'll let Ms. McNamara speak about. And then we had general discussions on suggestions and proposals. So if any of the other members that were present have anything to add, now's the time. No?
Maybe
So-
it's real. I do have
Yep.
something to add real quick. No, you guys got nothing to add about that committee? Okay.
No, I think we're good.
So a couple quick things I'll say is this on the equity statement. I know one thing we did discuss at the meeting, I just want to share with the public, is it will be a process on getting it done. It will include community input on that. So we'll draft a statement. We'll get that kind of draft available. We'll have some kind of community members be involved in that process of approving that, of, you know, kind of commenting on it, I should say, before it gets sent off to town council. So I did want to just comment on that. And on the summer and spring outreach, you know, we talked about the number of events that we'll be participating in, from farmers markets over the summer to the Fall Fest and those things we've done in the past. And we kind of brainstormed to discuss some other ideas, which I wanted to let you share because you had some good ideas, Megan. Do you want to share about the calendar and those sorts of things?
Sure, yeah.
Go
Well,
ahead.
and I see it really integrated with the Unity.
Yes.
It is, okay, so maybe you can share it at that point? Okay, because she's had some great ideas, and as did a number of us, about some ideas moving forward to kind of put us out there in the community a little bit more, so thank you, Mr. Tuttle, or Kittle.
Quite welcome. Oh, and there's,
Anything else? Go ahead.
we have a tentative date on our next subcommittee meeting as well.
Which is?
I believe it's March 11th.
That's correct.
Are you quizzing us?
No, I wanted to make sure, well, it's for him to report and me just to make sure, confirm, that's all. I'm just making sure. We want to get him to report, and then we confirm it. It'll be on the calendar.
And we adjourned shortly after establishing that next meeting date.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Kittle. I appreciate the update. And on next, actually, we're going to skip, because this is the order I have them in on the agenda, is Data Gathering and Analysis Committee. Mr. Tuttle.
Yeah, my report is embarrassingly brief. So we had a number of kind of conflicts, personal work and otherwise, since our last meeting. And so we will not have the next subcommittee meeting until next Thursday, March 7th at 6 p.m. So nothing to report since our last commission meeting.
Excellent. And do you have a time and a place for that?
Time is 6 p.m. The place, we'll have to work with Autumn, I think, to reserve a room,
Okay.
but
so-
most likely.
Yeah, elevator room. All right, so if you
Elevator
could just
room.
reach out to her and get that on an email to her. And you know, what worked very well this last time is just send it out to the whole full commission. And then, you know, obviously the committee members that are part of the committee will join. And if others are available, they can join, because some others have expressed interest in joining other committees as they're available. So
Okay.
that's awesome. Thank you. up next, we have our Unity event, which is kind of an ad hoc committee that we put together for this year. And as Mr. Kittle said, it kind of one ended and the other one started, and the same four were present. But Commissioner McNamara, if you can give an update.
Yeah, great, thank you. It was really a brainstorming event to help define what a Unity event is and how we might move forward. So we actually started talking with a Unity event and a specific dedicated, what could we do as a commission that would supplement the Walk a Mile activity that we've been hosting for the past 2 years. It led into a lot of different discussion, including what is a Unity event? And really where we landed with that, not a specific definition, but an understanding, and to be specifically defined later. Our understanding is really anything that we would do to bring community members together could be defined as a Unity event. So it doesn't have to be something specifically that this commission leads, but something that we may elevate that comes to us in a partnership from other community organizations, so other nonprofit or community interest organizations that we're supplementing, supporting, and helping to elevate and promote. So we decided we liked that idea, so rather than create another significant event on top of our Walk a Mile, we thought we would look into where we might have some opportunity to partner within the community, leverage what exists already, and really help elevate and promote what it is that the community is looking for. So let me pause there. Are there any other supplements to that piece? I have a couple other points. Anything else from folks who were there? Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It was a great conversation, honestly, and something we had talked about a little bit in the past, right? As kind of like, how do we partner with other organizations and other events? And I remember actually Mr. Tuttle bringing up, like, having the calendar of events and what do we have every month, quarter, bi-monthly, whatever, something to that effect. And we never really got to the point where we nailed it down, but I think we have. We furthered that conversation, discussion, and brainstorming, and I think it'll be great because there's plenty of events going on now, people who reach out to us to partner with us already, and those that we could partner and reach out to them to say, hey, we'd be happy to partner with you. And we talked about, again, this is just in the idea stages, but something like, hey, they have a committee planning some event, we can have one of our members join one of their meetings and kind of report back to our group, something like that, right? So we can partner in that way. That's one way. We can partner by spreading the word and kind of co-sponsoring in a way, or putting our name on it, so to speak. So there's a number of different things we can do that we talked about, and I think that's great. I think it's a good way to keep our name out there and also support some of what's going on in the community. So
What the community actually wants.
yeah, because
rather
these are
than-
events that they're doing now, and maybe wanting some more support for and more connection with, and to different parts of the community that they're not connected with. So yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that conversation. I think it was really, really good. And I liked that like idea of elevating, highlighting and elevating some other events that are out there. So thank you.
And I think the intent is really to connect diverse groups. So there may be groups within the town that are planning events and are really well attended by people like themselves. If one of us is available, participating, helping to coordinate, we can also give visibility to other like groups to bring them in and have, a larger kind of sponsorship and engagement in their activities.
Yeah.
So that would be the intent. We have a little more work to do to really kind of articulate it and define Unity event. Where we're getting started is helping to understand first who are some of those community partners and organizations that we might want to leverage and get in touch with. A calendar, so what is actually happening this year during the year with the town planned already, and with some of those community partners, where are there observances or other holidays that we might want to take advantage of to help kind of bring things to fruition. And then lastly, take another look at our own Walk a Mile. So maybe Walk a Mile becomes our one big event and is a Unity event that we sponsor, but have a potential for bringing in others to have them showcase their, cultural, religious, et cetera, interests at the Walk a Mile event, and of expanding what that looks like. So again, not any specific commitments for that, but ideas at this point that we're looking to explore and would love interest for the folks who are watching. If you're interested in partnering, please reach out.
Yeah, again, that one I think is great because, again, we've had 2 successful years of the Walk a Mile event. It's kind of our signature event, and I loved that notion of not creating a new thing, but building that. And we've had a nice foundation, so now we can build that and grow that by maybe this next year we have 2 tents or tables of community partners that show up and want to share what they're doing and what they're about. And maybe we have 1 small performance. And we've talked about that in the past, about having someone from the Historical Society give a speech about, inclusion or a particular segment of our population here in Rocky Hill. So there's a lot of ways we can go with it. Again, I think that was a great thought and great conversation. So it becomes just a bigger event. It can grow over the years, right? We have this foundation started, and it can grow and become something bigger. So again, for now, mark your calendar, September 7th, because that's what we're looking at. We'll nail that down a little more in the upcoming meetings. But thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You bet. Thank you. And we have our next meeting also on March 11th, and it will follow the prior session, the Community Conversations Subcommittee.
Excellent. Yeah, so 6, and then right after that, about 7. Awesome. Any other comments about those or questions for those guys? Again, we were there.
Covered everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan. Thank you.
I wasn't there, but.
Please.
And this may be an overstatement, but the way you just laid that out in terms of the Unity event is genius. Meaning our role as a commission could be, and this is what I envisioned for the Community Conversation Subcommittee, 2 years ago, was that they would be out there making interpersonal connections with various groups throughout the town, right? And so we would have, as a commission, a Rolodex of groups of varying backgrounds that we would have partnerships with. And so to leverage that, and this is where my head's going, all of them likely have some sort of event in which they're promoting and advocating for whatever particular cause that they want to. Mm-hmm. If we're able as a commission to connect those groups as simply as increasing participation from one group to the other group's event and vice versa, I mean, that seems like exactly what this commission should be all about in terms of unity. So I don't think I am overstating it. I think that's a genius idea.
Don't look at me, it was a
That I really,
collective conversation.
no, I think we should really capitalize on it. That is an excellent idea.
And it's funny, Kevin, though, as you're mentioning, commenting about it, like, we've had like pieces of that conversation. You know what I mean? As a commission up to this point, we've had pieces of like, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. Yeah, let's kind of do this. And we never really kind of put our finger on what that's going to look like and how it's going to roll out. And I just feel like it's coming together a little bit right here. Like, it's coming together, and I think it is a great idea. And we have those connections now, and we can build more, right? So we know some of those folks that each of us has been involved in, that the town's been involved in. Some of those events are held right here in this building. We've all been to some of those. Some of them, people are reaching out to us right now as a commission saying, hey, we want to hold this event. Will you be part of it? And we're like, So now maybe we have this mechanism, right? And we have, again, the idea of having someone from the commission partner with those different groups. And I think back to the different commissioners having ideas, right? We've brainstormed ideas before, and it seemed like different ideas, right? Like, I want to do this event. I want to do this event. But this just kind of brings them all together, so.
Less about more, right,
Yeah.
or having all of the ideas and
Yeah.
us delivering, but more about listening to the community,
Yeah.
hearing what the community really wants to do, and then helping to pull those things together, connect the dots, and, raise it up, make sure it's highly visible and successful.
Yeah, I remember being in a Diwali event last year. I got invited to the Diwali event, and I went, and I was like, okay. And one of the people that was running the event was like, okay, we need to connect because we need more, to be honest, non-Indian folks at that event, right? Because they were like, yeah, it was an awesome event, but we need more people there. It's like, okay, let's figure out how we can do that. So that's just one example, right? And there's others because there's been other events. So
Yeah, because the challenge with those kind of events are everybody that's not included in that group in their mind feels like it's not for them.
Right.
Right? So the more we push and promote and almost bring in
Pull
those
in.
groups. Yeah, so they're saying, well, the commission wants me to be there, I'll be there. We just grow the base in which
Yeah.
they understand the real reason for those events is to spread it beyond just that initial group. I think that would work phenomenally and something we should be all in on.
Yeah, and I think, again, just from my personal experience with the disability world, and that's the kind of world I live in a lot, is that piece. And oftentimes we'll hold these disability events, and it's a majority of families and people with disabilities that are there. And it's like, yeah, that's great and that's cool, but I also want everyone else who's not involved in that community to come in to see what life is like and hear and appreciate and include. So,
Like
so it's
allyship.
exactly
So
example.
we can build more
Yeah.
allyship and connection
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
diverse teams or groups. Yep.
This is awesome. And, he's on the record and on video of saying it's genius, so that's,
Stand
I
by
mean,
it.
it's,
We all
it's
get
so
gold
fun.
stars.
Like, yeah, that's a
Follow-up
little
skate.
gold
Get a
star.
gold star
We'll get gold stars for you. We'll work on the gold stars.
with my commissioner badge.
Yeah, with the commissioner badge, right, exactly. Right, let's see, back to the correct agenda here. Well, thank you very much. Anything else to add on the subcommittees? No. All right, cool. Old business, we have none, because we're on to new business, right? So I think we have nothing on the old business bit. New business, I have on here Commissioner Banner, which is sort of old business, but I brought it up under new business because I'm trying to reinvigorate this idea. We need to, and this is, if anyone has thoughts, I wanted to bring it up to the full group, if anyone has thoughts on it, but we need to basically buy and get a banner that says Commission on Inclusion and Innovation with some sort of, we talked about a logo, we had kind of tossed around the idea of combining our Rocky Hill logo, the town of Rocky Hill logo, which we'd have to connect with the right folks to make this happen, and then putting our name around it in some fashion or something. But having a banner that we can have at these events. Right now, we don't have anything that we can put up, whether it's at a Fall Fest thing or whether it's at our Walk a Mile event or any event, right? So let's say we have a table at one of these partnership events that we're doing. It would be nice for us to have a table or 10 at these things and have something that says, look, this is who we are. So anyway, that's just something if people have thoughts, ideas, or connections with, or artistic abilities or whatever might contribute to that, please let me know, let us know. In the background, Dana and I and Autumn will work on that and get ideas back to the full commission. But if you have thoughts on it, please, and I'll entertain questions or anybody have thoughts or questions.
It might be interesting to work with the muralist and use the
Yeah.
word. I don't know if we need something
Yeah.
that says commission,
Right.
but use the innovation and,
Right.
inclusion and innovation.
Right.
And then consider how the muralist might also
Right.
incorporate
Oh,
the
that's
words
interesting.
and the ideas into
That's interesting.
what they do.
I've seen her work. It's like beautiful. So it'd be like, I'm always about I'm like type A. I'm like block lettering, like boring, kind of thing. But that's good thought. That's
Are
good
there
thought.
any anticipated roadblocks in obtaining one?
I don't think so. I think it's a matter of us designing it, doing it. And again, this was more just to bring it up to discussion to the group. But no, designing it, coming up with the idea, finding a cost, figuring it out, and buying it. I don't think it's not a major cost thing. It's pretty small. It's just a matter of doing it and getting ideas, like that one, for example. We don't have a color scheme or anything for our commission. Like, I don't know. But that will be a visual representation. Not to overstate it, it's just a banner. But like that's what people, if they see that and they consistently see that in a community, that's what they're going to see. So we want it to be something that's eye-catching and meaningful, and not just Tom's, boring block words, block letters on a banner, which it would be if I was in charge, you know what I mean? So that's why I need some creative people involved in this process. So anyway, cool, thank you.
So
Yeah.
an initial thought is, I'm sure we have a pool of young talent within the Rocky Hill High School
Mm.
system. It might be interesting to kind of put that out to art classes
Mm-hmm.
and have a contest, if you will, and the person that wins, it's a nice note in their resume as they may seek to, move forward into college or other careers.
That's a
in the
great
future.
thought. And Ms. Schneider, the art teacher of the high schools, reached out to me regarding the Holy event, right? So she's reached out to me last year about the Holy event. So we have that connection there. She's already reached out to me. I'm going to be going to see her next week. So that's another connection. That's a good thought. And see, I didn't even think of that. Like when I mention it to her, she'll be great, awesome, good
There's
stuff.
also a sign company here in Rocky Hill.
Right, there is.
So
There is. Yeah.
let's use them if
Yeah, and that's the business I believe that the town generally uses. So
That's
yeah,
correct. Economic Development Director will be very happy to hear that.
yes.
that's right.
We are about including our Rock Hill businesses as well. Good point. Thank you, Kevin. Anyone else? All right, cool. So if anyone wants to jump on board on that, let me know. Next on the agenda, Freedom of Information Act overview. I will turn the meeting over to Dana McGee.
Testing 1, 2, great. This will be very quick, I promise, because I'm going to spend much more time with you during your training and orientation session later going into detail. But with regard to the Freedom of Information Act, you will find that there is a renewed focus with regard to our boards and commissions in ensuring compliance with the Freedom of Information Act. Really, that act is known as our Transparency in Government Act, right? This is the government ensuring that we are including the public in the work that we do so that folks understand not only the work product, not only your decisions, but how you got there. And so what you're going to find, again, in the work that you do with me, and also hopefully as you pay a little more attention to what's happening with other boards and commissions like you, appointed by town council, is a renewed interest in how you get your work done with a focus on 2 items in particular, your records. I'd like you to sort of get in the habit of realizing that every time you type an email, every time you create a document, every time you send a text message to each other, you are, in essence, creating a government record. That is subject to public disclosure. And so just keep that in mind. It's one of the reasons that we made sure everybody got a commission email. I think everybody has commission emails now, right? Gmails or something like that. Keep in mind that that's one of the reasons why we do that, so that if we do get a request for your documents, it's easy enough for you to simply forward them to me, take a screenshot, provide it to me, and we can share that with the public. And again, the standard of review is, have you created a document, be it a text message, in some cases even a voicemail that you can forward, that relates to the substantive business of the commission? That's different than, shall I call it, the administrative or housekeeping issues, like, let's talk about having a meeting. Well, I can't meet on that date. Well, this particular date is Dana's birthday, September 7th, by the way. Thank you very much. That's okay. I prefer yellow cake with buttercream frosting.
We're
Just so
having
you
a
know.
party for you.
Just so you know. But, you know, those kinds of discussions, setting meetings up, trying to determine whether or not we're going to have a workshop, that's considered sort of an administrative housekeeping set of discussions. I wouldn't be as concerned about that when relative to meetings, but substantive discussions. I am so excited to hear about the conversations you've had already as subcommittees, to the extent that you've been exchanging information via email. I am going to talk to you in a second about whether or not those were meetings. Let's hope that none of those were held with quorums in mind. But at the very least, know that the records that you created are things that we might be asked to turn over to the public, right? And then secondly, we're going to talk about meetings. Quorum. We will all become very intimate with the definition of a quorum. For you, you are without alternates, you are a group of 7, and so a quorum, the magic number is 4, right? Whenever there are 4 of you involved in a conversation, including conversations, so to speak, via email, you are engaged in a legal meeting. And that means we'd better make sure you publicly posted notice, i.e. an agenda, that you were going to have that meeting, and we ensured that the public was going to have the opportunity to participate in that meeting. If we did not do that, then we are violating the FOIA statute. And decisions that come out of that discussion could be null and void. So again, the magic number is 4. How many of us are on an email chain? How many of you are having the conversation? And that goes so far as to say, even when we leave this room and we go walking to our cars and the summer is here and the air is beautiful and it's a warm night and we decide to stand behind Tom's car and continue the discussion about how we don't want a birthday cake that's yellow with buttercream frosting. Are we indeed engaged in a meeting outside of the knowledge of the public? Okay? So again, I'll go into a lot more detail when we have our orientation, our training workshop a little bit later, but I wanted to give you a flavor of what it is I'm going to ask you to pay a lot of attention to as new public officials. Okay? Thank you. That's it. Painless, I promised.
Thank you. Any quick questions? Again, we'll hear more later, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. All right, next up on the agenda, I'll invite Terry Fitzgerald, who's a manager of advocacy and outreach at the YMCA in Hartford.
YW.
YW. You know, I thought it was YW, and like on our agenda it says YM, and I'm like,
Yeah,
why does
I
it say
know.
YM? I'm looking over here. I'm like, it is YWCA.
We get that a lot.
To talk to us, a presentation on increasing community engagement, and it's part of the 50/50 campaign. So welcome, Terry. And is he sharing? Yeah. So we'll have it on our screens here.
Okay,
We all
perfect.
have it on
I
our
was waiting for
computers. No,
something.
that doesn't need to come down because we have no one in the audience here, and it's on your screen. So
Yes, it is.
we're good to go.
So thank you for inviting me to speak to you about our 50/50 campaign. As I said, my name is Terry Fitzgerald. I'm manager of advocacy and outreach for our community engagement and advocacy department. So I'll give you a little background. YWCA Hartford Region stands on its mission to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. We serve the greater Hartford region with a variety of programs and services. Whoa, that should not be
A little sensitive.
advancing itself.
Might be a little
Okay.
sensitive on the.
I guess. Sorry. So we serve the greater Hartford community with a range of programs and services. We have early learning centers and before and after school programming. We have permanent and temporary supportive housing. We have Young Women's Leadership Course, so and career women's programs. We have a YW Tech Lab, and our work in our Department of Advocacy and Policy. Also, community engagement falls within our department. And YWCA Hartford Region has been in Hartford for over 150 years, founded in 1867. Also, an organization that works through associations across the country on a wide variety of initiatives from civic engagement and voter rights, gender-based violence, all across the board. And each association is slightly different in what they concentrate on. You know, like we run our women's shelters, some don't have them, but so we're sort of on the pulse of a lot of different initiatives throughout most communities. So the background on the 50/50 campaign is based on or inspired by the 2020 Secretary of State's report on gender and racial composition. In the legislative session of 2021, this report was used to justify the need for diversity on state boards and commissions. And in 2021, that bill was passed, Public Act 21-49. So we developed the 50/50 campaign to address some of that same work on the municipal level. So the campaign description is 50/50 stands for 50% of our time we work with municipalities to look at their policies and practices and make updates in ways to encourage the community to join and to retain members on volunteer boards and commissions. And then the other 50% of our work is we reach out into the community to work with the community to encourage them to join boards and commissions and sort of demystify what it means to be on a board or commission. So we hold community sessions, inviting them to participate, showing them how to apply, where to look for vacancies, all the things that, for some people we found through these sessions, they just have no idea where to turn to and one of the things we work on too is with the municipalities to take a look at their website, although yours looks quite good. Because some, you daisy chain you all over the place, and I think people get confused and aren't sure quite what to do. So those are some of the things we work on with the community. So the purpose is to educate and encourage community members to join municipal boards and commissions, mainly boards and commissions that impact quality of life for the residents of each municipality. So we've been partnering with municipalities. We piloted this initiative last year with the city of Hartford, the town of Bloomfield, and the town of East Hartford. So we meet usually monthly with the municipalities and go through a process, which I'll describe in a minute. So it's a 4-phase process where we work with each municipality. So a discovery phase where we look at all the policies and practices and sort of get a baseline of your boards and commissions and the makeup, demographic makeup of your boards and commissions. And then once we go through the discovery phase, we establish a strategy with the municipality, because we recognize that each municipality is quite different in their makeup and all. To sort of, look at different ways of some of your recruitment, some of your community engagement, and just offer up suggestions for ways to improve and increase the number of people, because we have found through this process that when you just spoke of a quorum, that some of the boards and commissions can't meet their quorum, and they just don't have enough people. And then also on that same timeline, we're reaching out to the community and trying to see, well, what are the barriers? Why is it that, there isn't often enough people interested in being on boards and commissions? And, sometimes it could be, they have little children and they just can't get to a meeting at this time, and trying to think outside the box. East Hartford actually had an idea where they would hold some of their meetings at the library so the kids could go and sit in on a story time, or working with maybe some interns, or to offer childcare during those meetings. And obviously the hybrid, thank you. The one good thing maybe that came out of the pandemic is that does seem to allow people a little bit more flexibility to join in. And then the public campaign, we work with the towns to reach out. We've lawn signs, social media, holding town halls, just to get the word out about the vacancies and the opportunities to be part of the community and help make a difference within your town. And then phase 4 is sort of a touch back once you've gone through all the phases, just to touch back if there's anything that, that still needs to be addressed. I mean, each town is very busy, and, we found each of the 3 municipalities that we worked with are at different levels, where some had more time and more people to work on some of the initiative, and some we need to revisit, or some just, East Hartford had a town hall and it went well, but they want to have another one where they can get more people to really see what this initiative is trying to do and how it impacts the town, and how each community member can have a part in taking pride in their town and being part of it. So, and this is just a little phase chart where we go through each phase and discover barriers, community participation, then develop the strategy, work on the public campaign, and then once again touch back. And then we, at the beginning, if each municipality, some have their own system of a survey, or where they establish sort of the baseline of what your makeup of your boards and commissions are. And if not, we have one that we can provide to you to use. And then, a year or so down the line, we would reach back and ask for it to be done again, so we can determine if some progress has been made around that. So this is just a quick testimonial. The mayor of East Hartford, when we started this process, he was chief of staff to Mayor Walsh, and since has become mayor. But and he spoke at the our legislative breakfast that Dana and Mayor Murata attended. So they had a very good response. It really helped them. One of the things we also did with them after all the process was, and I've heard you speaking a little bit about, of sort of onboarding people, we helped them create an onboarding guide for new members of boards and commissions that helps them, just know all the different details of when, what's the commitment and where do you meet and all the different, for someone who's brand new, just understanding. So next steps is, and I have left a one-pager with Dana that sort of describes, yep, yeah, all right, I didn't even see her pass it out. So if there's interest in Rocky Hill moving forward on this initiative, we would ask that you identify someone who, as a point person to attend these monthly meetings. And that's initially, and it can alter depending on the need of the municipality. And I don't know, you can just do one, but we've in the past asked each municipality to identify 3 to 4 boards or commissions that they would like to pilot this work with. And then obviously, once you've gone through the process, you can apply it to all your boards and commissions. One of the things we need is if you send to us sort of the process that you have in place so we could take a look at it, any kind of demographic data that you have. And then that would help us to work with you to formulate a strategy for any areas there might be gaps or barriers that, might not be quite aware of, or just strategies to address some of those. And then if you share some of and I heard you speak of some of them tonight, some of the events that you have, because those are really good places to engage the community and let them know, no matter how amazing your website is, you can't wait for people to come to the website to learn about these opportunities. We've found that the best way is to really get out into the community and speak with them, meet them where they are. In just different areas, like one of the municipalities we worked with, I don't know if all towns do this, I don't think so, but all the information on new openings and vacancies get filtered through either the Republican or the Democratic town committees, but where do all the unaffiliated voters, receive that information? So just working on ways to really engage the community and help them see the benefit and the impact that they can have within their own town. That's very quick. I also have an outline that I can send to Dana that can be distributed that sort of goes in more detail to the phases, when we look at some of the different processes. One of the things we did in the first year, although this was through a grant, so something we're going to ask going forward is for people with appointment power and members of boards and commissions to go through some DEI training. We were able to provide that the first year with the grant, but it's something that makes we got a really nice response we did one in each of the municipalities, and they found it very helpful. And we also, the Connecticut I'm always going to mess this up. The Connecticut Commission of Municipalities found out about this, and we're actually presenting. They are participating in a 4th annual 2-day training. Last Saturday was running for office with the Yale Campaign School, and this Saturday is the Conference of Municipalities. So we'll present more of the community side of this, of this presentation of how community members can become involved. Because we have a survey that we do for community members that sort of gauges their knowledge and experience with boards and commissions. And so from then we can help them. And we also have a community organizing and advocacy coach who will do one-on-ones with people if they want to sit with her and even have her, help them walk through the application process.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And if you don't mind sticking here for a few minutes, I'm sure we have a couple
Any
questions for you.
Happy
And I
to.
know Dana already raised her hand, so I'll call on Dana first.
First, thank you so much. I knew this was going to be a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. Can you please comment on the following assumptions that we've had regarding, what's missing in terms of really trying to penetrate all the different communities that make up our community. And one of the things we've been focusing on as a potential missing link is this concept of going door to door. Is that a correct assumption? Can you react to that?
Sure. I think, I don't know about going door to door, but maybe, I think meeting the community where they are is
Right.
the most effective way to engage them.
Okay.
So that would, whether it be door to door or showing up at events, not just that the boards and commissions are putting on, but other events within the town. Sorry, it's weird
Okay,
to talk
I
to you
know.
without looking at you. I think that's one of the great ways to really engage and see what they're about. And once you see, these different events or different groups or clubs, doing, a presentation in front of them could be helpful as well.
Excellent, excellent. And then in terms of, let's see.
We found that even with, and one of the other initiatives we work on is a Get Out the Vote. And we've done canvases where we've gone door to door. And
Right.
it's difficult because people aren't home or they're busy. And we
Right.
found, this year, I think we're going to try a different approach where we are going to really think out the box and see, well, where are people? Are they in the park with their kids? Are they outside the grocery store? Or
Right.
and really try to get the information, because we found that getting people to register is not the difficult part. It's getting people to show up and vote. So,
Understood.
and really meeting them where they are.
Understood. And I know East Hartford is one of your partner towns already, Bloomfield, correct?
Yes.
And I forgot the.
And Hartford.
And Hartford,
Yes,
thank you.
Hartford.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Terry at all?
I have a few, and first, I also want to say thank you. As you were speaking, I wrote down some of the more meaningful words. And I think one of the things that you said, and now you've repeated a couple times, is really meet people where they are, meet the community where they are. And also like an undermining philosophy of some of the conversation that we just recently had around what is a unity event? What does that mean? How do we really add value to our town and to our communities? So my questions are really, I want to get to a fine point of what's the ask and where can we, leverage the partnership with you? And I want to make sure I have a good understanding of what that looks like. So some of the material that I'm looking at, it's particularly around people of color and women, but it's really about community engagement and building engagement from the community in some of what we do here in our commission, perhaps other commissions for the town or other boards. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess the second question is, is there a cost involved in this? What do we look at for a partnership with you, and how would we move forward?
Sure. No, there is no cost involved. This is just an initiative we started. The only cost I could see is, as I said, when, one of the pieces that we felt was important was some of this DEI training. And as I said, in the first year, we had a grant, which we do not have any longer, so we couldn't offer that. But I do know that the CCM has some DEI training that they said they'd be willing, because they are interested, being that they have connections with all the towns within the state. They really want to help us scale this up to get it to as many towns as possible. And we, as YWC, however, I don't know how many we could do at once. But also, just really stressing the importance of different perspectives, no matter who it is. You know, you don't, I know sometimes it's been difficult for municipalities to get people to join, and so sometimes they're like, oh, Sally will do it, she's done it the past 20 years. But really getting that different perspective, because there are things within a town that one person sees very differently than others. So we might be missing some opportunities to improve on some things that really impact community members that don't traditionally come into this. So as far as commitment, it would be, you know, agreeing that you want to start this process, assigning someone who would be a point person to work, and deciding how many board, you know, we don't suggest doing more than 4, just time-wise, but if you just wanted to start with this one, that would be fine as well. And we meet usually, and at least initially meet monthly. We get the information, our team goes through it, and then we, you know, provide some strategies on some changes or different ways that things can be done. And then along that same timeline, our community organizer will be reaching out to the community and trying to set up some community educations. It's a different presentation than this, but it goes more into what it means to be on a board and commission, demystifying any myths about what that process is. Like, you don't have to be an environmental scientist to be on the environmental, you know, but you don't, you know, some people are really unsure as to what are the qualifications, or what are the needs that they would have to be part of. I think sometimes it can be intimidating for people. So we sort of go through that whole process with them and provide them information and opportunities for to meet one-on-one if that's something that would be helpful for them. And then once we get some things in place, we usually encourage to have a town hall where we invite the community in and we do a presentation, and both sort of a panel where usually it would be the mayor and a couple other members of the town leadership that would sit on the panel, and we would sort of have a discussion about what is community and what does it look like, and obviously that's different for every municipality. And part of the public campaign is, you know, a big social media blast to get information about boards and commissions and the opportunity to be on them, yard signs, the town hall. And then if it's something that the town would want also, as I said, we have created an onboarding guide, and we are working on a guide to this overall process that once the municipality has gone through this process, they would be provided that they could have as a touchback to look at. So, yeah, so there's not a cost involved.
Thank you. That was,
Yeah.
that's really helpful. I mean, for me, and I'm just going to translate back what I'm hearing. That's okay.
Yes.
You know, it would help us be better as a commission to have a better impact, and then learn from others who have been doing similar kind of work to the work that we're looking to do and have more experience. And just historically, just more time doing this. We're a relatively new commission. The town overall, so all of our commissions, or more commissions than just us, or other board positions, help them do better, and likewise leverage the history and experience of others. Promote engagement within our community itself and within our town. So help give us visibility and, you know, enable a different type of dialogue that we haven't had before. And really, again, pull in people that may not otherwise be engaged, with a critical focus on people of color and women in particular, but all community members.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe underserved populations.
Yes, definitely. Because I think, as I said, you know, trying to get the variety of perspective, because every municipality is made up of such a variety of people, and trying to ensure that every voice is heard. And having it not be the community and the leadership, but working together, you know, because most people take pride in where they live, and they want to be part of it, and they so working together to accomplish those goals of the betterment of the community and everyone's experience by being a citizen or resident of the town.
That's great. Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Spiro, Mr. Tuttle?
Listen, I'm honored to work beside Ms. McNamara. She's already extracted all the information that I was otherwise needing. So I'll just echo everyone else's comment on thank you for coming to present to us. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, and I will get the outline to Dana, and if you want to move forward, just reach out to us.
Thank you. Just quick comment to close. So thank you for everything again. Yeah, Megan, I'm checking off all the stuff on my list because you said them all. So, again, I think the work with our commission, the work with all the commissions in town, most of us that are on this commission now or have been on this commission are new to commission work in town. So I think it's a testament to what the town council did when they formed this commission is let's reach out and look for community members who haven't been engaged on 17 commissions over 20 years sort of thing. So we applauded town council for doing that. Now it's to kind of broaden that, to do better for us with this commission and to do that same better for the broader, bunch of boards and commissions in town. And we look forward to, I think, again, Megan said it, with the engagement in our community. Just the stuff you're talking about, having nothing to do with the makeup of our commission, is still going to be valuable to help us understand how to better engage with the community that we've been talking about. So that's like a whole nother thing that's not even your focus, but that we can also, I think, learn from, as well as helping. And we are, again, been tasked with some things on how do we make Rocky Hill more inclusive, and this is one of those things that we honestly haven't focused on as a commission, right? So it's something that we can, again, partner with, right? So it's not something we need to do on our own, but partner with, and a group like yourself. So we'll definitely be talking about this as a group, and bring this and talk with town leadership, and we'll be getting back together with you on moving forward or not. So
Yeah.
thank you
perfect.
very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think it's, one of the things I know on the state level when they talked about diversity of boards and commissions is, on the municipal level, oftentimes it's sort of the pipeline to, and not saying that everyone who's on a board or commission has to aspire to, but it's a good starting place for people to understand just, what it means to be part of your community. And we also teach an advocacy academy to our Young Women's Leadership Corps. And, we do this survey with them about how many of you would like to run for office, and most of them say no. But their understanding of what offices is the president, you know what I mean? So when we go through, what it means to be civically engaged and all the different ways you can be involved in your community that do not involve being president, at the end, when we do the follow-up survey, some of their answers change, and, just understanding that your voice matters in your town and being part of it is the way to address any actions that you want to see happen, whether it be, some kind of event that you're excited about. So I think just sometimes it seems simple enough, but sometimes just opening the mind up a little bit and thinking outside the box of what it means to be a community, community is a big thing that we talk about, and what it means to be engaged in your community.
Again, thank you very much. And I know we went back and forth a little bit on planning you getting here tonight. So I know it was a little fits and starts, and we appreciate your patience with us and flexibility and kind of getting here sort of last minute, even though we've been talking for like a month and a half. So.
I just wasn't sure, yeah.
I know,
when
so
it
thank
was.
you. Thank you for your
Perfect.
patience. And that's it. I'll move on. If we have nothing further, I'll move on to the next item on the agenda.
I just have one quick question.
Go ahead. Sure,
So
please.
As we reflect and talk about your presentation, would we be also able to have access to the slides that you shared?
I can
Would
make a
that be-
PDF and send them so they can be shared.
That would be great. I'd love to be able to look at, we have the one pager, which is
Right.
lovely and succinct, but there may be other points
There's
that you
more.
included.
And
Yeah.
I'll also send the outline, which sort of really drills down on all the phases and what kind of work is done.
Awesome, and that'll be helpful because we have some commissioners not here tonight as well.
That's right,
So
yeah.
that's helpful, thank you.
I will send that
Thank you for
on.
that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, hearing nothing further on that, our next item on the agenda is public comment. I have nothing, I will read this part quickly. This portion of the meeting is specifically set aside for comments from the public who are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment but cannot attend the meeting should email a written comment to commissioninclusioninnovation@rockyhillct.gov. I did not receive any email communications this month, so we have no public comment there, and there's no one in the audience, so we have no public comment. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion, or meeting adjourned at 6:31, exactly 1 hour.